Today we're going to be talking with Fred Puglia. He's Director of Tourism for the Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau. Next after that, we're going to be talking with two local area producers as they begin to construct and finalize their documentary project. Then it is off to the Illinois State Fair Media Day. If it's Sunday, it's On Location. First off today, we're talking with Fred Puglia. He's the Director of Tourism for the Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau. We wanted to see what exactly makes Springfield so desirable. Welcome back to On Location. Today we're down at the Convention and Visitors Bureau speaking with Fred Puglia. And if there's a mover and shaker in town, this is the gentleman right here.
Thank you.
You've been instrumental in many plans that have evolved here in Springfield. Give us a little bit of your background.
Well, I New York City, originally went to University of Dayton, graduated in marketing and human resources, worked for Merritt's in the incentive motivation business, worked for a major tourist attraction called South of the Border in Dillon, South Carolina, was the first bureau director to start the Providence, Rhode Island Bureau, came here in 1979, very blessed, a wonderful community, started the Convention and Visitors Bureau under the direction of Michael Houston, who was mayor at the time, and worked at the Bureau from 79 to 83, December of 83.
So what old is new again? As
I never thought of it that
right?
way, yeah, but it's true.
So tell me how things have changed over the years. I mean,
Well,
from when you were here the first time.
Everything is so automated, and we have so, we are slick today. We have a staff that's been with us for 20 and 25 years. These people are masters in their trade. All my job is to help aggressively market and sell the city. Things have changed though, the buyers have changed, the decisions of coming to a Springfield have changed, but that's what our jobs are. We're out here trying to get someone to stop off the highway and spend the night and experience the Lincoln legacy. Our job is to attract conventions. Would you believe we have over 1,500 meetings and conventions a year right here in
That's
Springfield,
amazing.
Illinois.
Did not know
so
those figures.
Our director of convention sales, Gina puts her heart and soul with her team. There's 5 people in sales, and we're constantly knocking on doors. Meeting planners literally from all over the United States, big groups, small groups, and say, hey, Springfield, Illinois. Why not Springfield? Why Peoria? Why Pittsburgh?
Is
Come
Springfield a hard sell?
It's a hard sell because it's not a glamour city. You know, if you were a meeting planner, destination Orlando, destination New York, would you like Montreal or would you choose Springfield? But there is a piece of the business for us. And we go after the meeting planner and the board of directors and try to convince them that they buy history, they buy Americana, they buy affordability. You know, you could buy a room here half the cost that you can buy in Chicago, half the cost you could buy in New York. I was just in Orlando, and a good room was $250 a night.
Right.
Come to Springfield, Illinois. We have wonderful restaurants. We have affordability. So it is a tough sell. You know, we don't have direct flights from all over the United States.
Right.
We're a boutique city that offers a lot of Lincoln legacy and affordability, and Route 66.
But a major hub, because being right in the center
Yeah.
of Springfield, you've got Peoria, Bloomington, all these other factors that are surrounding us. So it makes it a fairly easy sell.
You know, you bring it up. You're right. We are in the middle, aren't we? And then we are a regional sale for sure.
Right.
So we're going after especially every regional meeting planner, convincing them to come here. You know, what's our competition? Our competition is not a Pittsburgh. Our competition is Chicago, Peoria, St. Louis. You know, so if a meeting planner was deciding they wanted to come to the center of the United States, all these cities in our mix are a competition, and Indianapolis is a major competitor.
Now, there's people that have been in town 55 years and really maybe haven't even seen everything that we have to offer. For those
Sure.
individuals that are out there that, quite frankly, just haven't explored the city, tell us about where to start, what to do.
You know, I hate to hear that, but it's true. I do know that. I was just made a sales call the other day, and the young lady's been here 23 years. And she has not been to the Home. She's not been to New Salem. I think it's not laziness. It's familiarity. We take ourselves for granted. I'm from New York City. How many times do you get out and go to the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty? You go take the ferry boat rides. But we are blessed. Where do you start? Well, just think about it. Everything is right here. Everything is right here. All the Lincoln attractions are right smack dab in the middle of the city. You have New Salem just 25 minutes away. You have the Tomb 12 minutes away. You know, that's nothing, right? So where do you start? You start where Lincoln grew up, New Salem, Illinois, and you go to the Old State Capitol, you go to the law office, you go to the Home. Vachel Lindsay, one of my beautiful attractions sitting there. I often think I'd love to see lines every day, an hour long, to get into this marvelous attraction. We're blessed. The Military Museum,
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright, the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Museum, the library. We have it all here.
So how do you think the movie Lincoln affected tourism for Springfield?
Oh, I think it helped quite a bit. Think about an ad like that. I mean, that was an ad. That was a major ad. Certainly, we got a multi-million-dollar ad all over the world, and Lincoln, Lincoln, Lincoln. Even the vampire hunters. You know, it causes people to pay attention. Abraham Lincoln, following up with the movie Lincoln. We're still reaping the rewards on that.
Okay. Now, do you think, or roughly how many visitors do we get? And internationally as well.
And I'm glad you brought that up. You're aware that we have an international market. I can conservatively say that we get anywhere from 1 million to 1.8 million visitors a year. And we get a great deal of international visitors, and they're interested in Route 66. They're fascinated with Route 66. Of course, we get the traditional American guy and gal wanting to drive and experience Route 66.
Sure.
And most of the folks want to start in Chicago and go out west. And but we're very fortunate. We have not only the Lincoln Legacy to sell, we have the Route 66, and the internationals really believe the Simpsons are from Springfield, Illinois.
Well, and
that doesn't hurt.
And there's a lot of other folks that believe that as well, but that's a whole other issue that we probably won't go into right now. Now, Fred, is there anything else you'd like to bring up that maybe I didn't mention yet?
No, we in our short time period, you know, we could take an hour.
Right.
You know, it's, you know, to bring up, you know, History Comes Alive is happening right now, and we have personalities, reenactors in this street. We're creating such an energy right now. Folks love it. They come not only to experience the Lincoln sites, the physical building,
Right.
but they come in and also to experience the Lincoln lore and the character actors. It's like a Williamsburg. We're recreating a Williamsburg into Springfield. We have people in period costumes. We have singers in the street. We have crafters in the street, characters in the street. And we are not only selling the building, but we're selling Springfield as a personality. And we put people in a flashback, and they actually feel like it was in the 1800s.
Now, we're approaching the State Fair, and I'm sure that is also kind of a big draw for the town. We have thousands of people that come in to actually visit the State Fair, and so obviously that creates a little bit more interest in the
Sure.
town itself.
Sure, and anytime an event happens in our community, we get a piece of that to experience the Lincoln legacy. That's tourism in itself, because the state fair is an attraction.
Right.
So people come to the state fair as they would come to the Lincoln Home or the museum. They're also spending lots of dollars creating our tax base for us, helping us out with the tax dollars that we love, going and spending nights in hotels, eating in our restaurants, we hope, or stuffing themselves at the fair with another corn dog. But it's all good economic value for our city.
And it's a good, clean city full of wonderful people, including yourself, Fred. Thank
And
you
you
so
mentioned
much.
clean. Thank you for saying that. We
Absolutely.
are a beautiful city. Thank
Right,
you.
and it's only going to get better. And we hope at some point in time we can come back and visit you again.
Do it. Let's do it.
All right.
Boom.
Thanks. The Coliseum in Benilde, Illinois is just a distant memory for many. For two Central Illinois men, it's the subject of a documentary they've spent the last 2 years working on. We invited them in for a chat. And welcome to On Location. Today, we're going to be talking to a couple entrepreneurs, some artists, and specifically Jim Marcacci and Bruce Logsdon. And they're producing a documentary right now called The Coliseum. Now, first off, though, guys, I'd like to find a little bit about how this mismatched team actually came together.
Are you referring to the hair?
Well,
Is that
one gave
Yeah.
it up and the other took
Sure.
it on. So
well, actually, Jim and I had both been doing video work, weddings, pageants, stuff like that, small documentaries for some time. And I just finally said, since my son had graduated from college and getting out on his own, I said, why don't we just get together and do this together? We know each other. We've known each other since we taught.
I'd help him with a project. He'd
Yeah.
help me with a project. And
So we finally just said, okay, let's go officially. Now, we didn't incorporate, but we did form a partnership.
So what initiated this particular documentary called America's Coliseum?
One trip down Illinois 4, we're driving along, and I kept saying, Jim, every time I drive past here, I have the same feeling that if we don't start doing, we'd talked a little bit about it. I said, if we don't start doing this, one day we're going to look up and this thing is going to be burned down.
now you have to understand
Yeah.
that the Coliseum Ballroom is in Benilde, Illinois.
Right.
And I'm from the area. He's from the area.
Yeah.
And it's not like we picked some far out
Right.
building somewhere in Podunk, who knows where.
Right.
Right.
This was close to us. I mean, we went there
Right.
as kids. We
Yeah.
got entertained there,
So there's a lot of history at the
oh,
Coliseum.
so much. Go
Anybody
ahead.
that lives in that area will tell you that at one time or another they've been there. My parents had been there. My mom and dad talked and raved about it and said, and you're not going. I said, why not? They said, well, because back in the day with the big bands, I think it was very nice and now with rock and roll, nah. So I went that next weekend.
So what are some of the artists that did perform there back in the day?
Got it.
Oh boy, it goes back to the days of Lionel Hampton. The first band to play there was a very famous band out of Chicago. This is 1924.
Yeah.
The Frank Westphal and his
Yeah.
famous orchestra.
Right.
And there were a lot of ties between Benilde and Chicago, and it goes all the way back to the days of Prohibition. And a lot of people think that because of that connection, a famous band out of Chicago was the first to play on Christmas Eve, 1924 at the Coliseum Ballroom.
Yeah.
But Frank Westphal to
Tommy Dorsey,
Tommy
Glenn
Dorsey,
Miller,
Glenn Miller, the Dorsey brothers.
Wow.
and then the rock and
Lawrence
roll.
Welk.
The rock and roll era, you had the Everly Brothers.
Everly Brothers.
Chuck Berry practically lived there, I think.
Fats Domino.
Yeah.
So
Bo
this
Diddley.
project's been in the making for a couple of years.
This
right?
more than it's been about 3.5 years.
Yeah,
now.
Okay.
on the way to
What,
4 years.
what's the difficulty putting this together? And has it been a major project?
Yeah.
Oh, it has been a major project.
Yeah.
It was much more than we thought we were
You
going
know,
to be
years
able to
time,
do
yeah.
once we got into it, because we thought this is bigger than anything we had ever anticipated. But one of the big problems was music rights.
yeah.
We think we've got that portion of it licked. When you're
Right.
doing a documentary about a place that played music, you're going to have to play some music for these people that are going to be watching this
I'm
documentary.
sure it was a challenge.
And knowing who the owners of the music are whoever that may be, and the older people that performed there, they didn't own their own music. In fact, you hear the horror stories of these artists getting messed over as far as any rights to the music and any money, royalties from the music. So finding the artist could have been a real challenge.
Now, tragedy struck the Coliseum a while back.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's strange because of all the times for us to both be out of town. Jim was, you were up in Springfield here.
Yeah, I was up
I
there.
was in Wisconsin at a friend's wedding. And we get the phone call, the Coliseum's burning down. Well, we'd done probably 80% of the principal photography inside and everything and videography. We had most of what we needed, but it still was just like a lightning bolt. Holy cow. But you know, it's exactly what we'd said would happen. Luckily, we had gotten started in time to make something happen with it.
And it did burn down, and it's gone now. It's leveled. There's
Yeah.
hardly any remnants of that place except the sign.
We start the whole documentary off with the fire.
Right.
Yeah.
And, oh, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, now that you mention it, why don't we take a look at a piece of the documentary just to give you a little tease about it, and then we'll be right back.
The Coliseum Ballroom, more often called Teros by the area youth, was built in 1924 by Benel businessman Dominic Terrell. When you danced at the Coliseum, you were dancing on the largest dance floor between Chicago and St. Louis. Frank Westphal and his famous orchestra, a nationally known jazz band from Chicago, was the first to play the Coliseum on Christmas Eve, 1924. Duke Ellington, Paul Whiteman, the King of Jazz, and the Bill Johnson Jazz Band were among some of the popular bands to play there during the 20s.
Okay, welcome back. Quite an endeavor.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the hurdles that you had to get over.
Well, as he
to
was
get this
talking
going.
about, copyright issues were always a problem. Luckily, we had a lot of slicks, you know, those 8x10 photos that publicists used to put out, and nicely they were autographed by the artist. Well, Jim had access to those. He had access to a lot of the Beneld Enterprise, which is a local newspaper. And boy, a lot of our research came out of there. So that was part of it. And then trying to figure out how to tell the story. Where do you start? And we had already started, and then we realized maybe starting with the fire might be the best place to go, and then go back and start talking about it chronologically from that point on.
Now, you've had a lot of people talking about this program
Yeah.
already. I think the State Journal Register did a piece on it
Yeah, we've
like a
been
year ago.
very fortunate.
And
Jacksonville paper is one. I believe they're putting out an article shortly.
wow. And you've also had numerous T-shirts.
Oh, yeah,
put up,
we've been the
to
T-shirt
promote
bit,
the,
sure.
to promote the actual documentary.
Right, right.
So, how can people find out more when it's going to be done?
Keep up, right.
Keep up to pace on what's happening.
Just go to our website.
Go to our website. We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Sound and Image Productions.
Yeah.
Our website is soundandimageproductions.com.
Yeah.
Soundandimageproductions.com.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
It's A-N-D.
Now, did I miss anything, or is there something else that maybe you'd like to tell us about
All right.
Sound and Image or the documentary?
Here's the
we
expected.
do plan on
yes.
getting this finished for stocking stuffers for Christmas.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're interested,
We
this
know
would be a good Christmas.
We've
to get
made
'em.
lots of predictions when we'd be done, and then we'd run into a host of problems. But tell you what, the main thing on this is for us to be accurate and for it to be entertaining.
And for the actual public to reminisce about what
absolutely.
maybe they had seen there at the
Absolutely.
Coliseum.
We've got a
couple years
lot of
ago.
good interviews with bands that played
Yeah.
there during the 70s
Yeah.
and the 80s.
How can people find out more about your program?
They can go to www.soundandimageproductions.com. They can also find us on Facebook at Sound and Image.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming in here.
Thank you for
It's
having
been a
us.
real
Yeah,
treat,
seriously.
to talk about this program, and I'm so anxious to actually see this get off the ground
Yeah.
and get in people's
So
stocking
are-
stuffers.
so are we.
for this-
We were anxious too.
Well, you didn't grow old while all this was going on.
We have. See all these gray hairs? I added a bunch for this.
Well, thanks again, guys, and we hope to follow up with you later on. We'll talk to you, bring you back in, and talk to you about how things are going.
All right.
And
Kurt.
for the rest of us, we'll see you around. Thanks. The Illinois State Fair has opened its gates for all to enjoy. Thousands flock to the central Illinois area just to partake in this gala event. We stopped by Media Day on the Illinois State Fairgrounds Director's Lawn to see exactly what was in store for us this year.
Our theme this year, as many of you know, is where Illinois comes together. And I think nothing personifies what the fair is really about besides that statement. It is where Illinois comes together. It's where families come to enjoy the fair. It's where generations of families have joined together to show livestock. It's where volunteers and business come together. It's where state agencies are able to reach the people with all the wonderful things that we provide throughout the year. It's where carnival rides and hot dogs and lemon shake-ups all come together too.
Agriculture is one thing that continues to have been be sustained throughout all those years. Illinois continues to be an agriculture state. It is our number one industry, and the state fair is really here to continue to promote that, and it's here because of its agricultural heritage, and it truly is an agricultural fair.
On behalf of the Department of Natural Resources and Director Mark Miller, we have a 22-acre facility here, just adjoins right on the other side of the fences here is Conservation World. And we hope that sometime during the run of the fair, everyone gets a chance to come out and see a lot of the displays that we have that highlight a lot of the work that Department of Natural Resources, through our biologists, private lands people, fisheries, and a lot of our representative groups come out and set up displays, all natural resource based. A couple great announcements this year is we are changing our hours of operation back to 7 o'clock at night closing. For the last couple years, I know Director Fleiter talked about it, budget cuts, we were closing at 5. This year we're going back to 7 o'clock. Every morning during the fair when we open, which is at 10 o'clock during on Saturday, Sunday, 11 o'clock during the week, Smokey Bear will be at the Conservation World main gate, which is just south of the fence here, opening up the gate every morning. So we hope that everyone is able to see him. I'll come down, there's a lot of free entertainment for the kids and families, a lot of nature-based. Of course, we've got the popular archery tent, the rock climbing wall, the BB gun range. We've got a couple new things that we're going to be doing this year. We made an alliance with the Springfield Arts Association, and they're going to have local artists come in, and every 2 or 3 days a new artist is going to come in displaying what they do through the Springfield Arts Association, but they're also going to be doing nature-based crafts for the kids. So the kids can come down and learn how to weave grasses and baskets and make jewelry out of some of the natural resources that we have. Another thing that we're doing this year also that we're excited about is this little boat that you saw me carry up here. The Puddle Duck Racing Alliance or Association is coming. And during the run of the fair, they are going to be building out of 2 sheets of plywood and a couple 2x4s a full-scale boat. And if you're interested, you can go to a website and Google Puddle Duck Racers. There's some nice YouTube footage on there. But what we're going to do as a special event, August 17th, which is Parks and Recreation Day, we're going to have a special area set aside for the kids and families that can come down. The kids will get a kit, and they can make one of these replicas of the Puddle Duck Racing boat. And then sometime during the day, we're going to have a regatta, either on one of our interior ponds or the big lake down there. And who's ever is lucky enough in the regatta for their boat to win the race, they're going to win the Puddle Duck Racer full scale that's being built during the run of the fair. So we're really excited about that opportunity. Again, it's another thing to get families and kids involved, get them learning about natural resources and conservation.
For many years, I have represented Abraham Lincoln when I've stood before this group, and this year I'm representing another elected official, Governor Pat Quinn. And I'm going to talk about what's going on at the governor's tent this year. The theme is Our Illinois, and it's going to highlight local attractions, products, and programs from all areas of Illinois. And we're going to do that in several ways, and many of these are family activities for people of all ages. We're going to have construction equipment there, courtesy of the Capital Development Board, where kids can have their pictures taken with the construction equipment. And this is to highlight the Illinois Jobs Now $31 billion capital program that's currently ongoing in the state of Illinois. The Illinois State Museum will have a presence there in Illinois Under Your Feet, where kids can explore prehistoric Illinois. We're very proud to have them this year. The Department of Agriculture's Where Fresh Is campaign that encourages the purchase and consumption of locally grown fruits and vegetables will have a presence in the governor's tent. We will also have the Bureau of Tourism and the Illinois Main Street program to highlight some of the local attractions in various areas of Illinois. So it's a veritable list of prestigious agencies that's taking part in this year's governor's tent, including the Main Street program, Bureau of Tourism, the Where Fresh Is campaign, Illinois Heart Rescue, Amtrak, Capital Development Board, Illinois State Museum, Department of Transportation Bike Path, Illinois EPA Clean Water Program, Correctional Industries, and Serve Illinois. So we encourage everyone to come visit the governor's tent at the Illinois State Fair this year. And I just want to thank Bob and Amy for having us out today and for doing just such a wonderful job with the State Fair. It just seems to get better and better every year.
This November marks the 150th anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. So we're asking people and the public to make videos reciting the address. We'll have a spot in the IHPA booth in the Illinois building where people can deliver the address, and we'll be recording them. We'll post the best versions of this on YouTube and use them at the Presidential Library and Museum to celebrate the anniversary this coming November.
We're going to carry on the tradition here. This is the 4th year, and we've renamed it to the Battle of the Hill. If any of you guys have seen CrossFit on national TV now, the craze, our goal is to find the fittest of the fittest. So when Amy called me about doing it this year, our goal was to pull teams from Chicago to St. Louis. And I want to let you guys know this is the first year that we've actually done that. We've got teams coming from Chicago to St. Louis.
My name is Tiffany Williams, and I'm a music educator here in District 186. I've been involved with the State Fair for several years with their talent competitions, both dance, vocal, also instrumental, and I'm so excited to be a part of what we're calling our Grand Standing Ovation Show Choir Festival. It's going to take place on Thursday the 15th at 6:30, and will feature high school groups, middle school groups, and even Springfield's own Showstoppers, which is a community show choir of younger children that will perform shows about 15 to 20 minutes long each. We'll also feature some outstanding soloists from each of those groups in between the group performances. If you don't know a lot about show choir, it's a wonderful genre of music that has become popular through television shows like Glee or movies like Pitch Perfect.
So I want to tell you, it's not been really easy for Amy and her staff just because of the budget situation and conditions that we have. But we're all committed. Governor Quinn's committed to having a great state fair. He'll be here, I know, throughout the fair on a number of different occasions. We're excited about that. So it's just a great time for Illinois, a great time to come together. And I hope that you will continue to work with us to tell our story, tell the story to the people of Illinois, and truly show that this is where Illinois comes together. Thank you, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget, if you missed anything, you could dial us up on our YouTube network, On Location 217, or if you have questions or comments, send them to us, care of Beatty Televisual, 1287 Wabash Avenue, Springfield, Illinois, 62704. Now next week, we're going to take a look solely at the Illinois State Fair, a half an hour looking at the fried food to the smiles on the kids' faces. Join us then right here on Location.